This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
My name is Jimmy Carter.
It's a loss.
He was always the first one on the job site in the morning and the last one to leave.
See the former presidents together more than once in the month of January.
I'm making sure my dad's okay.
We've taken for granted that my church will always be there.
Oh, the acquaintance be forgot.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. The late former President Jimmy Carter will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda in preparation for his funeral Thursday, January 9th. Americans mourning the man that was the nation's oldest living former president.
It's a loss.
It is a loss.
I think he was someone who tried to do good things for this country.
The peanut farmer from Georgia turned politician.
My name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president.
He was 100 years old when he died peacefully at his home yesterday. Carter was sworn in as the nation's 39th president January 20th, 1977. He created the Departments of Energy and Education, returned the Panama Canal to its people, and brokered the historic peace treaty between Israel and Egypt, the Camp David Accords.
Let history record that deep and ancient antagonism can be settled without bloodshed.
Carter ultimately awarded the Nobel Peace Prize.
I'm not here as a public official, but as a citizen of a troubled world.
But he's also remembered post-presidency as the man who served, logging over 200 home builds with Habitat for Humanity. Don Wilkinson is president and CEO.
He was always the first one on the job site in the morning and the last one to leave at night. So he was more than just a figurehead. He really did the work that needed to be done.
President Biden set to deliver his eulogy a week from Thursday. Every living American president expected to attend Jimmy Carter's ceremony.
We're likely to see the other former presidents and their spouses in attendance should their health allow it, which may mean that we see the former presidents together more than once in the month of January. First at the Carter funeral, but then again conceivably later in the month at the Trump inauguration.
President Biden has declared January 9th a national day of mourning. Former President Jimmy Carter dead at 100. Closer to home for the better part of the day today, Western Pennsylvania had more power outages than anywhere else in the nation. That number down from nearly 70,000 to 26,000 after wicked 60-mile-an-hour winds, and even a rare December tornado warning was issued in Forest County, PA last night. This teenager saw a tree go through their family's car feet from their home.
I look out my window, I see a tree now. Immediately, I'm making sure my dad's okay because I know he's downstairs.
Special teams have been called in to remove thousands of trees from the roads. This company is using high-tech technology in Brentwood, Pennsylvania.
BIK grapple truck that will reach 126 feet. It will reach out, grab the piece, and make the cut, and bring the piece to the ground for us.
Winter storm watches have already been posted for 6 counties in the snow belts near Lakes Erie and Ontario. Those kick in for New Year's Day as the next weather maker moves in. 50 degrees today, but we're a week and a half away from an Arctic blast with a high of 17. Kevin has your forecast coming up in 2 minutes. South Korea's acting president just ordered an inspection of every airplane in the country a day after a Boeing flight belly landed and skidded off the runway, killing 179 people as it burst into flames.
The damaged black box has been sent up to Gimpo International Airport in the Seoul area, and it's going to be examined. It's damaged to the extent that there are concerns that we might not know exactly what was going on in the cockpit.
And more of us aren't members of a church. A recent Gallup poll found in the 1940s, 80% of Americans said they belonged to a church. Today, that number is 20%, reflected in the number of churches closing, especially Protestant churches. Father Brian Zilniski with the Diocese of Buffalo looks back on what happened after the 9/11 attacks.
Churches were full because we weren't in control. So who do we go to? We go to a God who is meant to guide us, to see us through tragedy. We've taken for granted that my church will always be there. But we've never asked the question, how is it going to be there? And how is it going to stay?
One group is bucking the trend. Non-denominational churches are seeing noticeable growth, with 6.5 million more people attending in 2020 than in 2010. On deck next, a powerful audio tour of all the top top news stories of 2024, woven together by our own Bob Price. You're not going to want to miss this. But weather first with Kevin Williams. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
A couple of showers of rain and snow through the evening hours. Low temps dropping toward 30. Tomorrow, a little bit of morning sun for some, but rain will arrive from west to east late in the day and at night with high temperatures into the 40s. Wednesday turning colder. Rain changes to snow and flurries. Falling temperatures. Lake effect snow to kick in during the day and go on beyond Wednesday night and Thursday in areas southeast of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Temperatures on Wednesday falling into, if not through, the 30s.
Thank you, Kevin. It is hard to believe that 2025 is a little over 30 hours away. As we wrap up the year behind us, a pause to the top memories and the stories that moved us and shook us and touched us. Here are the top news stories for 2024, compiled by our own Bob Price. Let's listen in.
The first major test in the race for the White House.
The people of Iowa, thank you. We love you all.
Whether Americans are ready or not for this, it's here.
The results are in, and Donald Trump victorious in tonight's New Hampshire primary.
Eagle Pass, Texas was seeing thousands of migrants a day.
It's no longer the U.S.-Mexico border, it's the U.S. world border.
Recent MAX 9 door plug blowout never should have happened.
Every plane that goes into the skies needs to be safe.
Boeing, they have lost their way.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
And the mythical mastery of Caitlin Clark continues.
To be honest, I don't get nervous for games because, I just know, this is fun for me.
This for college basketball history. The all-time leading scorer in NCAA history. Caitlin Clark.
The man who stood up to Vladimir Putin, the symbol of Russian oppression.
47-year-old Alexei Navalny dropped dead at a penal colony in Siberia.
New outrage this morning over the violence in Haiti.
Another day of fighting between Haitian gangs and police on the streets of Port-au-Prince.
The time has now come to suspend my campaign.
There is no bridge. There is no bridge.
A stunning bridge collapse at the Port of Baltimore.
The whole center span is gone completely.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge plunging into the water.
Here we go! Yes! Totality! That is so awesome!
Tens of millions of Americans coming together, looking up, witnessing that breathtaking spectacle in the sky. A rare total solar eclipse.
Get back! Get back!
The Israel-Hamas war stoking protests across the U.S. and college campuses.
It's scary.
I've honestly been avoiding campus.
Hey, hey, ho, ho! The occupation's got to go!
These little Gazas are disgusting cesspools of anti-Semitic hate.
Anti-Semitism has no place on our campus.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
What happens to Israel?
Turning now to the Trump trials.
Donald Trump is facing legal hurdles on several fronts.
Another tough day in the legal arena for former President Trump.
The verdict is in.
Donald John Trump is a convicted felon.
An historic moment as he becomes the first former president convicted of a felony.
No matter how powerful you are, no one is above the law.
That's how the American system of justice works.
It's a very sad day for America, that's all I'm going to say.
This is a conviction without a crime against Joe Biden's chief political rival in the middle of a presidential campaign.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
If the Lord Almighty came out and said, Joe, get out of the race, I get out of the race, the Lord Almighty's not coming down.
It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Banner number 18 has been secured. The Celtics are NBA champions. 3 seconds to go. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
The Supreme Court has issued a ruling on the extent of presidential immunity.
This is a 6-3 ruling that says presidents are immune.
Take a look at what happened.
There has been an incident at Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally.
When I heard this going on, I thought it was a firecracker.
There's blood coming from his ear.
I had God on my side. If I had not moved my head at that very last instant, I would not be here.
Secret Service leadership committed catastrophic security failure.
Was this a colossal failure, yes or no?
Yes.
This is an NBC News special report.
Breaking news and a critical moment in the presidential race.
It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president.
President Joe Biden officially dropping out of the 2024 race.
I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
And it is my great honor to have Joe Biden's endorsement in this race.
I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States.
I accept your nomination to be President of the United States.
It has been a century since the City of Light last hosted the games.
You have come to Paris as athletes. Now you're Olympians.
Legendary actor Carl Weathers has died.
What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
There is a fascinating story developing right now in the Middle East.
Thousands of pagers belonging to Hezbollah exploded simultaneously.
Tonight, the high-stakes showdown here in Philadelphia between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Their first face-to-face meeting in this presidential election.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
We are coming on the air with breaking news about former President Donald Trump. A possible second attempted assassination. The Secret Service fired in the direction of a person with a gun just outside Mr. Trump's golf course in South Florida.
Now, the latest on the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
These are desperate hours in the storm zone.
The devastation that I've witnessed is hard to describe.
Nobody's going to help us.
Homes and businesses flooded.
It's hard to put into words.
It's undescribable.
Roads and bridges completely washed away.
Just really horrifying.
This is an unprecedented storm.
This is one of the worst storms in modern history.
It is Election Day. November 5th is finally here.
The Fox News Decision Desk can now officially project
Donald Trump has won the presidency.
Hey, look what happened. Is this crazy?
We must accept the results of this election.
President Biden will pardon his son Hunter.
If it was my son, I'd pardon him too. But here's what I didn't like. Don't lie to us. Don't tell us you're not going to do it and then do it.
out of Syria and the fall of Bashar al-Assad.
The Assad family controlled Syria with an iron fist for 53 years.
Luigi Mangione is fighting extradition. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione remains behind bars.
He was just threatening to kill people.
Daniel Penny found not guilty.
The person of the year who's had the most influence on the news in 2024 is Donald Trump.
What a great honor this is. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than it has ever been before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
That's a recap of the top news stories for 2024 and a shout out to Bob Price for putting that together. You can hear the entire thing online and share it with your friends and family. Just go to familylife.org/podcasts. Click on Family Life News and Special Features. Time next for tonight's market report brought to you by Faithward Advisors. Wall Street is closing lower. Trading on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange paused for 1 minute this morning in honor of the passing of former President Jimmy Carter. At the final bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 418 points to 42,573. The S&P 500 lost 64 points to 5907, and the Nasdaq dropped 235 points to 19,486. Faithward Advisors is a Christian financial planning firm online at faithwardadvisors.com.
Are you overpaying for life insurance? It's easy to do. Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. Here are some tips to avoid overpaying. First, buy term insurance instead of whole life. Don't get caught up in the idea that your policy should gain cash value. Keep insurance and investing separate. Next, pay attention to costly add-ons, which the industry calls riders. True, these can be useful in customizing your policy, but they can also be pricey. Also, limit the death benefit to 10 to 12 times your salary. Finally, avoid annual renewable term policies. These can appear very attractive because the premiums start out low but increase over time. Get a fixed premium term policy instead. Follow these tips and you'll get more value for your life insurance dollars. Connect with a certified Kingdom advisor who's been trained to deliver financial advice that aligns with your Christian values by visiting our website, faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, you know the song, the one that everybody sings on New Year's Eve just after the ball drops, Auld Lang Syne. But have you ever looked closely at its words? Our own Greg Gillespie breaks it down after one last look at weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. A couple of showers of rain and snow through the evening hours. Low temps dropping toward 30. Tomorrow, a little bit of morning sun for some, but turning out cloudy. Rain will arrive from west to east late in the day and at night with high temperatures into the 40s. Wednesday, turning colder. Rain changes to snow and flurries. Falling temperatures, lake effect snow to kick in during the day and go on beyond Wednesday night and Thursday in areas southeast of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Temperatures on Wednesday falling into, if not through, the 30s.
Thank you, Kevin. Finally, at 5, late tomorrow night, a lot of people will be singing a song. Everybody recognizes the tune, but relatively few know more than the first few words. To get you ready for New Year's Eve, Family Life's Greg Gillespie helps you translate.
Auld Lang Syne is how the national poet of Scotland, Robert Burns, wrote the poem in 1788, a title meaning since long ago, or as Britannica suggests, for old time's sake. Characters played by Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal in the year 1989 tried to make sense of the song.
I mean, should old acquaintances be forgotten? Does that mean that we should forget old acquaintances? It doesn't mean that if we happen to forget them, we should remember them, which is not possible because we've already forgotten.
Actually, the poet tells of tender memories by old acquaintances, telling stories, sharing a cup of kindness, and good memories. Events of their lives symbolized by paddling along in streams and being carried along by oceans.
Anyway, it's about old friends.
Greg Gillespie, Family Life News.
And that is the world that we live in for Monday, the 30th of December. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.